from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
Hello and there we go, okay. And good afternoon. I'm Forecaster John Bordash with you in the JB Weather Center this afternoon, sitting just around 5:20, continuing to track severe thunderstorms that are moving through the region. We do now have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning shown there by that orange polygon that's in southern Charles, northern St. Mary, southern Calvert counties. This goes until 6:15, so over the next hour or so, as we have multiple lines of thunderstorms pushing through this region. We have one really strong thunderstorm that has really blossomed here over Hollywood that's now pushing over the Patuxent River, and it's now pushing into Solomons, the Chesapeake Ranch Estates, and Lusby here. And this is continuing to push eastward, so expect some hefty conditions out of this storm, as it has the potential to produce heavy rain, gusty winds, and frequent lightning. Behind that, there's another storm that's going to push through these exact same areas, currently sitting over the Belle-Alton area down towards Newburgh. That is also moving eastward with frequent lightning, heavy rain, and gusty winds. And we could be looking at wind gusts potentially upwards of 60 miles per hour with any of these storms as they continue to push eastward. We have another hefty thunderstorm that's not currently severe warned moving through parts of Dunkirk and Huntingtown. That's pushing eastward towards the beaches. And then we have a really strong line of thunderstorms. So we have several areas we're watching here. This last area that I'm watching is back to the west. It's currently along I-95 from Stafford County down towards Richmond. That is moving almost due east. So you can imagine here on a due eastward track, and I'll play this through, that progression is going to take it here into parts of southern Maryland as we push through the next 1, 2, potentially as late as the next 3 hours. So we are looking at an extended period here of storminess across southern Maryland and the northern neck. We have severe storms pushing through right now, northern parts of southern Maryland through Charles County, PG, northern Calvert, parts of Anne Arundel County. But I'm really watching this line back to our west along I-95 as that pushes through as well. We're looking at the northern line that's pushing through our region. That's kind of moved out ahead of this southern part of that line. So because they're now a little bit disconnected, that means we're going to be looking at them moving at 2 different rates, which means we're going to be looking at 2 different rounds of storms that are pushing through here. And as we've just let this loop through, you could just see how strong these storms have become. We've been hot. We've been humid today. That's allowed these storms to really explode. And that heat and humidity is what's really allowed for these storms to blossom with the amount of lightning that they have. And we really are looking at a lot of lightning down here. Over 300 strikes here through parts of St. Mary's County, crossing the Patuxent River, getting into southern parts of Calvert County. And this storm that's just moved out of Belle-Alton here, moving into Newburgh, this is a hefty thunderstorm producing lots of lightning on its own. So we have a very active couple of hours in effect for us. We do still have the severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the entire region until 10 o'clock. So we have storms pushing through now. We've had storms push through over the last couple of hours. But I don't think this is it. We're going to stay on storm alert here over the next few hours. The main severe risk as we move through the rest of the evening will come from damaging winds potentially upwards of 60 to 65 miles per hour, and that threat of localized flooding. And I'm really worried about that flooding threat for southern communities where we've seen rounds of thunderstorms already push through, and we're going to look at additional rounds. So I'm thinking areas south of Prince Frederick and south of Mechanicsville. Those are really the regions I'm keeping in mind to potentially see some localized flooding, when we could see a flood warning get issued for those southern zones here as we push through the next few hours. Let me take you on over to our high-resolution futurecast. This was run around lunchtime. You can see it has those storms pushing through as they are right now at 4 or 5 o'clock. And it has potentially even more showers and thunderstorms pushing through throughout the evening. That's why that severe thunderstorm watch is going to be in effect across our area for the next few hours until 10 o'clock. Let me take you back over here to live William Richmond Inc. radar. You could just see how strong these storms have become. This storm over Lusby is really kind of blown up here into a pretty hefty thunderstorm. The storm over Huntingtown up here getting into Dunkirk, Lower Marlborough. This is a hefty storm extending down here to Prince Frederick. This is heading to our Bayside location, so head up in the beaches, down towards Willows, down towards Dares Beach. You have this moving through, and then to the south, we still have these storms here from Stafford down through Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania, Caroline counties, down towards Richmond. Those are going to be approaching areas like King George and Tappahannock here over the next 45 minutes or so. And I do want to put a storm track here on this over the next 2 hours. So this is going to be separate from those storms we're seeing right now. But as we take this out here, we're moving this east at about 25 miles per hour over the next 2 hours. That's your storm timing for this really dangerous line of thunderstorms. This is pushing into Tappahannock around 6:24, getting on over towards potentially Mechanicsville by about 6:40, Leonardtown 6:50, and then potentially getting into Lexington Park and down towards Leslie as we get right around, or if not, just after 7 o'clock. So we're looking at several rounds of thunderstorms that are going to be impacting the region. And it's, I think, going to bring us the potential to see some flooding. And we're also looking at some hail with these thunderstorms as well. Typically, when we're talking lots of lightning like this, these are mature thunderstorms. That means they have that potential to produce hail. So we will be monitoring that as well, potentially upwards of 1 inch in diameter with that hail. And right now, that rain is really kind of scattered throughout our region. If we take a look at just how much is falling here over the last little bit, we can see, let me turn the lightning off quick. So far, we've seen upwards of 1 to nearing 2 inches of rain through parts of Hollywood, Leonardtown, getting into Lesby, and about that same amount here through parts of Nanjamo and Welcome and Port Tobacco, up here towards Akakie, Fort Washington, Bryan's Road, and then up here near Lothian, getting on over towards Harwood, Fairhaven, and Deal. So these thunderstorms are producing a lot of rain. We do have a flash flood warning in effect back to the west for parts of Orange County and Virginia, which I think speaks to just how strong these thunderstorms are as they continue here to push towards the east, and we'll continue to track these here. So I think we're in for the stormy night. The heat is just about over. These thunderstorms have really cooled off temperatures. In Leonardtown at the St. Mary's County Airport, we've seen temperatures go from 91 to 79, now kind of hovering around 80 degrees. So that heat is just about done, but it's because these thunderstorms are sucking up all the heat and turning it into quite a show out there with the thunder and lightning. But thankfully, that tornado threat is low. We're really just talking, right? Just talking about gusty winds and that lightning. So please stay weather aware. If we get any new warnings, any new alerts, any new updates, I'll be back here with you live. You can always get my updates on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And one of the best tools, and I do want to show you this quickly before we get going, one of the best tools you're going to have available to you to stay ahead of these storms, to track them, and to see what's going on as they continue to move through the area, it's going to be the JB Weather Radar online. So just head over to jbweather.net/radar. What you'll get is this screen here. Right now it's zoomed into where I'm at here in Pennsylvania. But you come down here. It shows radar right now, but you also have the 1 hour future cast. So it takes radar now and shows you how storms are going to progress here over the next hour. And that shows you we're looking at some hefty thunderstorms. So we're going to stay weather aware, we're going to stay safe, and we're going to, continue to stay up to date on what's going on. But again, stay tuned, and I'll continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much. Have a nice and safe one. Again, keep it tuned right here to JB Weather for the latest information.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.